Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Friday, August 8th. Today is day 642 of my fasting journey, but more than just fasting, this is also my health and wellness journey. It is a crazy day today. I am live streaming a little later than I have been lately because I was supposed to get my car sold today, and then the buyer was like, I can't come at that time. And I was like, damn it, it was a mess. But here we are now. We're going to get this live stream done. I'm not going to let something negative affect me in a way where I'm going to now be like, well, time to eat, right? I have a lot on my plate. None of it is food. And I just want to make sure that I keep pushing forward on my journey. Before I begin, Arctic Fox, Aisha, Mahogany, put on the tiara, Lynn, anyone else? L, BMJ, Eric, hello, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you all. It's a hot day today here in Chicago. I think it's like in the 90s, I think. Maybe it's a little cooler. I just got back from parking my car back in the place I had to park it and then walked back to my apartment. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. Hi, Patty. I see you there too. How's it going? There's a lot to talk about today. Today, I actually want to talk about social gatherings. Today is Friday. Maybe some of you have plans this weekend. I have plans this weekend, and I am going to be eating more than expected. And I want to talk about how to deal with days like that and what to expect and how to move forward. Tommy, I see you there. How's it going, Tommy? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So we are going to fly through some nerd stats first, because I really want to spend some time today talking about what I have planned going on this weekend, and maybe if any of you have plans this weekend where you might find yourself eating or eating more than usual, we can have a discussion about it. 642 days of my journey. Of course, not all of these days have been perfect. There have been ups and downs. There have been some really good days, a string of good days, and some bad days. But regardless of a good day or a bad day, I show up. And you should too. If you're here right now, share your accountability. Let us know how things are going, whether good or bad. That transparency can go far. You might not think so, and maybe it doesn't for you, but I know for me, it's super important. Sherelle, Melly Mel, Babita, nice to see you all. Welcome, welcome. So let's dig into the nerd stats. I have been doing daily live streams because a couple weeks ago, I found myself binging. I ended up mindlessly eating for a while. I gained 30 pounds in like 5 weeks. And a lot of mindless eating and kind of straying away from my bad habits, or kind of straying away from my good habits and leaning into my old bad habits, led me to mindlessly overeat and binge until I said, okay, I need to be accountable and do this every day. A big part of that is because I am moving. I've said it many times now. A lot of this moving business has put a lot of stress on me, and I ended up using food to comfort eat, stress eat, however you want to call it. So what have I been doing since then? A lot of fasting. I have now completed 8 rounds of ADF, alternate day fasts, 8 rounds of fasting every other day, eating every other day. Currently, I'm 16 hours fasted. Well, almost. I thought I was going to time that right. I'm currently 15 hours and 59 minutes fasted. So I'll be hitting the 16-hour mark soon, but I'm not going to be eating today. Today is my fasting day. I'm going to be fasting all day today, and I will be breaking tomorrow. Although tomorrow, I might not even be doing a 36-hour fast, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Yesterday, I talked about how I dropped 20 pounds in 16 days. Of course, it wasn't exactly 20 pounds. It was at 19.8, but I'll take it. Close enough. In the last 8 rounds of ADF, I have been averaging a 44.5-hour fast. So a few hours shy of a 2-day fast. Weight-wise, I have been dropping weight round after round after round. Although there was one round when I gained 0.8 pounds, but that didn't stop me from doing what I know works, trusting the process. Round after round of ADF, round after round of cardio, day after day of cardio, strength training every other day, mindful eating, trying to limit my calories. And it got me from 169.6 pounds back on July 23rd to under 150 pounds yesterday. This is the lowest weight I've been in 22 days. So when I talk about how I gained 30 pounds in 34 days, I have now lost 20 of those 30 pounds in 16 days. These swings are not what I want to happen, but life happens. And for me, I think it's a lot more important to figure it out, show up, work on bettering your habits, continue to remind yourself that you have to break old ones. Every round of ADF right now, I have been losing about 2.5 pounds per ADF. That's on average. That isn't going to increase anytime soon. At this point, every round of ADF, I will probably be only losing a small amount of weight. Although yesterday was great, losing almost 1.5 pounds. But obviously, it's more than just fasting. I have been refeeding every other day. I have been trying to limit my calories. I have been prioritizing my protein. So I didn't mean to show that slide. I was going to show that after because it's time to talk about what I refed with yesterday. Oh, and that's fast forwarding into that. So I always show this for transparency's sake. I like to show people what I break with on my refeeds because I think that keeps me accountable in a lot of ways. I think it's really helpful for me to make sure that, listen, when I refeed and I tend to overeat or I tend to eat things that I shouldn't, it's a lot easier to do it when I'm not putting myself on camera. So for the last 2+ weeks, I have been filming everything I've been eating. So let's talk about it. Let me show you what I ate yesterday on my refeed. And again, if you're wondering, what do you eat? Are you still losing weight eating this? Yes, I've been showing the stats. So even though I eat this way, I will still continue to lose weight doing ADF. Hopefully tomorrow I will continue to lose weight again. If I don't, it's okay. The process works. I know I can just keep pushing on. Yesterday, I started off with a salad. I had a salad the other day too, and this is really good. I actually added shrimp to this salad. This is just a Caesar salad, nothing special. I ended up adding extra Caesar dressing that I bought. It's like a yogurt-based one, so it's lower calorie because I'm trying to give myself a lot more volume calorie-wise. I added shrimp in here because I really needed more protein. My last refeed, I was a little bit under in protein, about like 30 grams or so. I did add extra Parmesan cheese. And then I have my typical Brussels sprouts, as you can see here, seasoned, oven roasted, cooked in a bunch of seasonings. I did add balsamic vinegar. I've been getting a little tired of some of the foods I've been eating lately. So even adding something like balsamic vinegar really helped me. My mouth is watering, even just talking about it right now. So Brussels sprouts, and then this is chicken. This is boneless, skinless chicken thighs, seasoned, cooked to temp. I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I did start off eating that without any rice because for me, I wanted to make sure that I get enough protein in. I know I can overdo it with rice. And so I always like to start with just the meat first, and then I add rice in later. And then you'll see here, this is a bowl of rice, mushrooms, and more chicken thigh, skinless, boneless chicken thigh. I think I ate about half a pound of shrimp and about a pound of chicken thighs. I did add mushrooms into this. This is always just such a good meal to eat, especially the way I season it. And if I cook it just right, it's amazing. I also added cherry tomatoes. These are kind of cooked and stewed so that they give some acidity, something I still really enjoy eating. And then 2 bananas. Nothing really special here, just some of my favorite fruits. They're still not as ripe as I want them to be, but I was like, I really want a couple bananas. So had 2 bananas, had the chicken, rice, mushrooms, tomatoes, had Brussels sprouts, had Caesar salad. And then finally, this is, again, another bowl of sugar-free Jello pudding. This one looks a little different though. If you see it, there are little cookie crumbles in here. Let me tell you first what's in the pudding. You can see I did like it. I thought it was really good. This pudding was sugar-free Jello, vanilla pudding. I added milk, protein milk, Fairlife protein milk. I added protein powder. I added canned pumpkin, not the sugar added pumpkin, just canned pumpkin because I really love the taste of pumpkin pie. I put pumpkin pie spice in it. And then the cookies that you're seeing in here, usually I have been using something called digestives, which are these tea biscuits. I actually ran out and I had some Biscoff cookies. Do you know what Biscoff cookies are? Biscoff cookies are those cookies you get in when you ride on the airplane. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're so good. They're some of my favorites. I didn't even know that there was still some left. But I had Biscoff cookies crumbled into it. It was a really good dessert. I really enjoyed it. It was, why did it stop here? Did my video not, yeah, it messed up. Anyway, that was my refeed. You want to take a guess at how many calories that was? You have about 2 seconds. Altogether, that was 2,803 calories. All of that food, 2,803 calories and 206 grams of protein. So just to talk about the stats here, this is how I've been eating now for the last 8 refeeds. A little changes here and there, but for the most part, a very similar cadence to the way I eat. On average, my refeed time is about 3 hours and 3 minutes. My average calories per refeed, currently 2,700 calories. My average protein per refeed, around 200 grams of protein. I eat foods that are high in protein. I prioritize protein. I do try to find foods that I enjoy, that are good to eat, that I don't find boring, because how can you stick to something if you just are tired of eating the same shit? How can you stick to something if it can't be sustainable in that way. It doesn't mean that you can't eat super healthy every now and then. I think you all know this about me, but eating super clean is really not my forte. It's not what I like to do. I would rather fast longer hours than deal with eating bland food every day or eating the same shit every day. But that's also the beauty of it, right? What I'm eating right now is a lot different than how I used to eat when I used to just eat fast food back to back to back. This is a lot different in this case. And you saw me just eating those Biscoff cookies there, right? Eating a ton of white rice. That chicken thigh or the chicken thighs I cook it in oil, right? I don't eat the cleanest way. I added extra dressing to my salad. I added extra Parmesan cheese to my salad. I do this because I want it to taste good. I want the way I eat to be sustainable. My refeed weight goes up every time I do refeed. I always show this because I want everybody to understand that, yes, after a refeed, I gain weight. Every single refeed, except for one there, I gained weight. Yesterday, when I refed and I weighed in this morning, I gained 3 pounds. Overall, on average, I'm gaining about 2.8 pounds per refeed. But even though I gain weight after every refeed, I end up losing more weight on my fasted days. So tomorrow, when I step on the scale, if history proves true, as you look at these stats, these are my weights after every fasted day. I'm still continuing to lose weight to the point, like I said, I've lost now 20 pounds after 8 rounds of ADF. I don't worry about the scale moving itself up. I don't even worry if the scale doesn't move itself down after a fasted day because I know that the process works. And if I find myself gaining weight, maybe after 4 or 5 rounds of ADF when I was losing initially, then maybe it's time to actually look into it and see what's going on and how I need to change things. But I know it works and I know I don't have to worry. Making sure I have all the slides here. Oh, I already showed that slide. Is that it? Hold on. No, last thing here. Last slide here, right? Obviously, fasting, big part of what I do. Keeping my refeed shorter, big part of what I do. That's why I average a 3-hour refeed. Being more mindful about how I eat, prioritizing protein, making sure I don't overdo the calories, a huge part of what I do. But also cardio. Every day I go out, I take steps. Yesterday's step count was a little over 15,000 steps. On average, over the last 16 days, I have been putting in 16.8 thousand, 16,800 plus steps. And then strength training every other day. I refed last night. I ate all of those things you just saw there. And then first thing this morning, when I got up at 5:30, took a walk to the gym, lifted weights, and then walked back home. Got a good walk in, walked a little extra. That's usually how I do it. And then I went about my day doing everything I need to do today. That's pretty much how this works, time and time and time again. But let's talk about tomorrow. How about for you, any of you? Do you have plans tomorrow? Are you going out? Are you going to be getting out of your routine tomorrow? Maybe not. Maybe some of you are sticking to the plan. The weekend isn't going to change what you're doing. Typically for me, the weekends don't change my fasting plans, my eating plans. But tomorrow, after 16 days, well, today's day 17. So tomorrow, after 17 days of staying on track, tomorrow is my 20% day. What's a 20% day? I like to live by the 80-20 rule. A lot of people talk about this. I think it's a really good thing to implement. 80% of the time, I am making sure I'm doing what I need to do. 80% of the time, I'm on track when I'm calorie counting, when I'm eating the healthiest, when I am going for my walks and doing whatever. And then the other 20% of the time, it's not going to be as strict. Tomorrow is that for me. I have plans tomorrow, and I just want to share this and put this out there because I think it's really important to give that transparency so I can be accountable. I'm eating out tomorrow with friends and family, and I'm going to be eating, and I'm breaking early tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be a day of eating pretty much whatever I want. I am going to actually record it. I'm not going to record everything, but I want to give all of you an idea of what I eat tomorrow so you can see what this is like for me. So you get to see what 20% looks like for me. Tomorrow's a 20% day. I'll be eating, really eating, but I will be recording for transparency. I'll be sharing for accountability. I will also be roughly recording my calories, and I will try to be mindful. And afterwards, I'm going to fast to offset that. But let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, I am breaking early, probably around 1 p.m., maybe 2 p.m. at the latest. But my guess is if I'm currently 16 hours fasted, oh, well, I'll hit 36 hours tomorrow at 10 in the morning. So it'll still be technically an ADF. I'll be breaking probably around the 37 or 38 hour mark. But I will have a long refeed tomorrow. I will probably be eating from, I would say, as early as 12-ish p.m. to probably as late as maybe 12 a.m. before I go to bed. Why? Well, I have plans and I'm going out and I want to enjoy myself, and I will probably be eating a lot of everything. I will be recording for transparency, like I said, but I'll also roughly be recording, or I'll be roughly tracking my calories. Now, when I track my calories tomorrow on an all-you-can-eat whatever type of day, I don't really know what the exact calorie count is going to be. It's not going to be as accurate. I'm not going to be weighing my food, but I want to give myself at least a general idea of how much I eat, because what I want to do is then take how many calories I roughly eat and figure out how long I'm going to fast for. If you've been watching me every day, I think I had mentioned to you all that a longer fast was going to be happening. You all know I have been doing 40-ish hour, 45-ish hour fasts lately, but we're about to get a longer fast moving forward. And I have a plan on how I am going to figure out how long I'm going to be fasting for after I eat tomorrow. There are probably questions that come with this, but I want to go over it. So let's talk about this. How long am I going to fast tomorrow? Or how long will I fast after eating everything tomorrow? Here's the thing. It depends. It depends. Because tomorrow it's going to depend on how many calories I roughly eat. So obviously, the more I eat, the longer I'm going to fast. But Jerome, do you think you're going to be able to fast? I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I have all of you to keep me accountable. I have these live streams to be transparent. And if for whatever reason I break early, then I have to share that and explain and talk about what my game plan, what the backup plan is. But let's talk about this first. So how did I figure out how long I'm going to fast for? What I ended up doing is, like I said, how long am I going to fast for after I eat tomorrow? It's going to depend. In the last 8 rounds of ADF, as I've been counting my calories in, calories out, I noticed that on average, I have been at about 1,000 calorie deficit every day. So as I've lost 20 pounds in the last 16 days, I was doing that with about a 1,000 calorie deficit per day, eating every other day, only eating around 2,700 calories. It meant for me that I was giving myself a 1,000 calorie deficit. Does that make sense? So if I were to eat every day, my TDEE, the amount of calories I burn every day, is around 2,300 calories. It would be as if I were to eat 1,300 calories every single day. I'm giving myself about a 1,000 calorie deficit. That's just how the numbers fall when I eat every other day. If you think about it, because my body burns 2,300 calories every day, I did the math. Yes, I'm very much a stat nerd. So like, if you think about it, my body burns about 95.8 calories per hour. So I've thought about this and I said to myself, if my body burns 95.8 calories per hour, all I got to do is take how long or how many calories I ate or how many calories I will eat tomorrow. And then I just divide it by how many calories I burn per hour. And that's how long I'm going to fast for, while I add a 1,000 calorie deficit to it. You might be confused. It's okay if you are. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. I'm just kidding. But you'll see that if you look at the last bullet here, my fast length, right? My fast length will be whatever tomorrow's calorie count is plus 1,000 calories, because that is the deficit I normally give myself. I'm adding 1,000 calories to what I roughly eat tomorrow and then dividing by 95.8 to give my fasting number. Okay. So let's give you an example, right? For example, tomorrow's calorie count plus 1,000 divided by 95.8. So tomorrow, if I were to eat 5,000 calories, I'll add an extra 1,000 calories because that is giving myself a deficit. That's 6,000 calories, right? Even though I ate 5,000, I will record it as 6,000. So, or divide by 95.8, which means I will be doing a 63-hour fast. BMJ says, is there a quiz? No, thankfully there isn't. Sydney says that's some next level planning. Again, right? Like I'm just thinking of it this way. But before I continue on with this, Isa84 became a new YouTube member to the Finally Fasting fam. Isa84, thank you for being a Finally Fasting fam member, however you want to call it. Do I have? Yes, I do. Isa84, I don't know if you picked the OMAD group or the OMAD tier or the autophagy tier, but can we throw some F's up for Isa? Isa, you have this emoji as well. Other people who are members of my channel, can we throw some F's up for Isa? Isa, thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam, but actually, I just appreciate you supporting me in that way. That means a lot to me. Isa84 here says, hi, Jerome and others, very inspired by your story. Thank you. I'm also a stress eater and fallen off the wagon many times, currently watching all your videos. Hopefully they're helpful for you. Feel free to ask questions. I do answer what I can. Thank you for being a supporter. It does mean a lot to me. I look forward to making more videos and hopefully you get a lot more insight. And if it helps you in any way, Isa, just know, right? Like I'm the same way. There are a lot of people here who are also stress eaters. And I think one of the things that's really important about this community is that in a lot of ways, we share our accountability. We let people know if we're doing well, if we're struggling. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for being on this live stream. So does this make sense? What I'm doing tomorrow? like I said, if I end up eating 5,000 calories tomorrow, I'm going to add 1,000 calories to it. And then I'm going to divide by 95.8. And that means then I do at least a 62 and a half hour fast or a 63-hour fast. But you know me. Do you think I'm going to be eating 5,000? Actually, you should take bets right now on how many calories you think I'm going to eat tomorrow, because I will be roughly recording it. When I look at 5,000 calories, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to eat that many. I have been only eating around 2,700 calories, which is amazing to me. But when I'm not eating a pound or two of vegetables, and I'm going to be starting off eating probably not the healthiest foods and probably eating a lot of higher dense calorie foods, it's probably going to be nowhere close to 5,000. So what if I ate 10,000 calories? Some of you might be curious. If you ate 10,000 calories, how many hours would that be? So let's do the calculation I put. 10,000 calories plus 1,000, because I'm going to give myself 1,000 calorie deficit. So 11,000 calories divided by 95.8 means I would have to fast for 115 hours to stay at a 1,000 calorie deficit. 115 hours is a 5-day fast, everyone. If I eat 10,000 calories tomorrow, I will be going on a 5-day fast. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. If you look underneath that, if I didn't want to gain weight or lose weight and just maintain, if I ate 10,000 calories, I would still have to do a 105-ish hour fast. So a little over 4 days of a fast to keep my weight steady. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully the maths. I think it does. One Golden Breeze says, hi all. I was just going to hide out today, but the math pulled me in. Hopefully that's helpful. This is something I was thinking about, because here's why. Usually when I eat 6,000-7,000 calories, I do a 90-hour fast and I would still lose weight. And I know that I could probably do that. And honestly, if you think about it, the math actually makes sense, because if I'm eating around 6,000 or 7,000 calories and I do a 90-hour fast, I still lose weight. But like in the example that I showed you, if I were to eat 10,000 calories, I would have to do a fast length of 115 hours. I'd have to add more time to it, right? So I think the numbers worked out the way it should. Did I have other stats here? I did. Oh, yeah. So here's the thing is, if I want to do a 65-hour fast, I would have to eat 5,225 calories. A 65-hour fast is something that I have done many a times. 65 hours is really not difficult for me. If I want to do a 90-hour fast, what I used to do when I first started my journey, I would have to eat 7,600 calories. So I'm just wondering if that's where I should be around, somewhere between 5,000 to 7,500 calories. Then that way I'm only doing a 65-hour fast or a 90-hour fast. We won't know until tomorrow, but tomorrow I will record it all. You will see everything that I ate. And that's pretty much how we're going to do it from there. Melly Mel asks, sorry if I missed the explanation, but where does the 95.8 in the formula come from? Let me show you. If you look at this, right? TDEE. It all starts with TDEE. If you're watching this right now, you're unfamiliar with what TDEE is. TDEE is my total daily energy expenditure. I believe that's how the acronym plays out. Total daily energy expenditure. Pretty much what it means is in one day based on my metabolic rate, meaning how many calories, my resting metabolic rate, meaning how many calories my body burns doing absolutely nothing, but to also add in my activity, meaning the 15, 16,000 steps I do, if I lift weights that day, if I decide to, I don't know, shoot hoops, or I decide to do core exercises behind me while I'm watching TV, right? My TDEE is about 2,300 calories. 95.8, how I got the 95.8 number is if you take my TDEE, which is 2,300, meaning that because my body burns 2,300 calories in a day, if you divide it by 24, it comes out to 95.8. 95.8 is how many calories on average my body burns per hour. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're curious, if any of you are curious about what your TDEE is, just go to Google. I believe it's called tdeecalculator.net or whatever the website is. And that's where I get my TDEE. I burn about 2,300 calories on average. I would say it probably lies somewhere between 2,100 on the less active days and maybe up to 2,500 on the more active days, but roughly somewhere around 2,300. Hopefully that makes sense. Vicky says, yo, I understand your point, but I'd puke before I could eat 10,000 calories. Trust me, I've tried. Currently 26 hours into my next 63. Vicky, congrats on being 26 hours in. Thank you for sharing with us. Yeah, I get it. 10,000 calories isn't for everyone. In fact, I have friends who are like, why don't you just do one of those eating contests? Because they've all seen me eat and how quickly I can put down food. But I feel like doing something like that would not be good for someone like me who binge eats. So it's not something that, although some parts of me always wanted to try. I remember one time I tried to eat as many chicken nuggets at McDonald's as I could. This was back when I was like in my 20s. And I think I had 53 or 54. But the thing is, I could have eaten more. And I remember people were watching me eat, and I think I ate 53 or 54 chicken nuggets. And I was like, I could eat more. I'm tired of eating chicken nuggets. And they didn't believe me. So they got me a double cheeseburger and I ate that fine. And they were like, oh my God. just a side story there. Okay. Sydney, this is not going to be a math channel. It isn't. Eric says, when you move to the Philippines, we will be on the same time zone. There you go. So I can make them more often, hopefully. Well, you know what, though? I think I'm still going to keep them around the same time, because if it's 7:30 p.m. here in Chicago, it's 8:30 a.m. in the Philippines. And I should be able to live stream around that time, unless I change it, but I don't think I'm going to. We'll see. We'll see. So, okay. That's it when it comes to what tomorrow looks like. Here's the thing about tomorrow, though, too. So tomorrow, what am I going to do? I have coaching sessions tomorrow, but I'm going to be busy at like 10 in the morning. So, and then I'm going to be busy the entire day. So I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow, Saturday morning. So many of you who are here probably won't be on at, I don't know what time I'm going to live stream tomorrow. It might be super early. I might just be talking to myself, but that's okay. It's just going to be pretty much a quick update of what my weigh-in tomorrow is. I'm hoping I'm going to be under 150 again tomorrow. That's my hope, because yesterday I was 149.8. Today I was 152.2, I believe, or 152.8. I put on 3 pounds after my refeed. So hopefully I'll be in the 140s again. But who knows where my weight's going to be after I refeed whatever I eat with tomorrow. If you're just coming in, just remember, tomorrow I have a 20% day. That's going to be a day where I eat whatever I want. I'm not going to be as strict. I will be mindful, but I will probably be eating a lot of junk food tomorrow. I'm not going to be cooking vegetables. I'm just going to be eating with what's around. And I might even go out afterwards and drink in the evening. So who knows what this is going to look like? We'll see. We'll see. Enut asks, how do you know how many calories you burn a day? Like I said, go to TDEE calculator. Find out what your TDEE is, your total daily energy expenditure. If you want to know how many calories you burn per day, TDEE. That's what you need to find. T as in Tom, D as in David, E as in Enut so sick, E as in Enut so sick. And remember, that number isn't set in stone. It's not a number that's in the scripture and forever will be the only number. It's just a rough estimate. It gives you a good guideline on how you should be thinking about calories in, calories out. So just take a look and see if that's helpful. Yes, Almado says it exactly. TDEE calculator. Okay. Sherelle says, please don't change the time after you move. I don't think I will, honestly. So there we go. Birdie put a prediction. 6,000 calories is what Birdie says. I don't think anyone else put a bid out there. I think it would just be fun if you all put your predictions on how many calories I'm going to eat tomorrow. Because then you'll know on Sunday. So on Sunday night, I will be showing the video of everything I ate. On Sunday night, I'll be showing the calorie count and all of that. So maybe put your predictions out. And then Sunday evening when I live stream, because I'll be live streaming Sunday evening at 7:30 Central, you'll get to see how many calories I really ate. But Saturday, tomorrow, when I live stream, it's going to be earlier in the morning because I'm going to be live streaming before I have to do everything. So tomorrow, just FYI, on Sunday, this TV is not going to be here anymore. Or it might be down here. I'm starting to take things down. I got to put this couch up for sale. A lot of stuff is going to be gone. I mean, look at these, look at the shelves behind me. These things are pretty much empty now. So yeah, I have a lot going on tomorrow. And then I'm going out tomorrow after that. And I'm going to be eating and drinking and put your guesses in now. I was going to say, maybe I could put a prize if somebody gets the right calorie count. I'll do that. I'll go through this, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you get the right calorie count, the person who's the closest, it doesn't matter if you're over, because you know how Price is Right. You know how the Price is Right. You know how the Price is Right works. If you go over, you're eliminated or you don't win. But I'll tell you this, if you are whoever's the closest to my calorie count tomorrow, if you're the closest to my calorie count tomorrow, we'll do like a 15-minute coaching session for free. I'll do the coaching session for you for free. Or if you're in the States, if you live in the States and you don't want to do a coaching session and you want a sticker or this sticker, oops, wrong sticker. There we go. One of these, I'll send one out to you. If you live in the States, if you live international, I'll just see how much it costs. If it doesn't cost too much, I'll send it out. Okay. So put your guesses in here and then I'll refer back to this to see who's the closest when it comes to how many calories I eat tomorrow. I mean, I could surprise you all. Maybe tomorrow I'll be like, no, I want to eat healthy and I'll keep it limited. And so I'm just saying, who knows what tomorrow is going to be? I'm just putting it out there. So let's do fit check. Let's do fit check. If you're unfamiliar with fit check is when I go stand back there. I show you what I look like. I really don't like doing fit check on the days when I refeed the night before. So I refed yesterday. I ate 2,800 calories. I'm a little bloated today. I'm up 3 pounds, but I do fit check because I think it's really important to give you that transparency. I show this all the time, but I have been an overweight, obese, morbidly obese person my entire life. We're just going to swing through these real quick. So it's not like I just was overweight a couple years ago. I have been like this since I was a child. I have been able to lose this weight through fasting, through eating better, through exercise, through imperfect consistency. Because I've told myself whether I have a good day or a bad day, I think it's really important to still show up. So let's do fit check real quick. Again, I'm a little bloated today, so not feeling the best about it, but it's all right. This shirt is an extra large boys. These extra large boys shirts, this specific one is a little long, but it's funny how an extra large boy shirt is long on me, but it's because I'm short. So straight shot, side shot, rear, side. Don't mind this stuff. I have bubble wrap because I'm selling stuff. So just in case you're wondering, like, what is that? Yes, I still have fat. You can see it here in this compression shirt. Here, right? So I know somebody left a comment yesterday and said, you look good at 150. I think that's where you need to be. But I know I have extra fat on me. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with where I'm at, but I know that I could still afford to lose a couple more pounds of fat. My goal isn't so much to get to a specific weight. I know I keep saying I want to get down to 130, but really, I'm just more interested in, can I get the rest of this fat off of me? And can I continue to build muscle? That's really what my big goal is here. I'm just happy to keep finding myself dropping weight. The fact that I hit the 140s yesterday after being almost 170 16 days ago, like, it's nice to see that I've already dropped the 20 pounds at this point. So, questions, anyone? It's time for the Q&A part. I do have a coaching session in 15 minutes, so we'll kind of do this as quickly as I can. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. But while you're asking, if you have any, if you're looking for help when it comes to fasting or weight loss or accountability, or if you just need to talk to somebody when it comes to figuring out a plan and a strategy on how to work on your journey, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We're going to do exactly what you're seeing right now. We'll be talking face to face. I mean, you don't have to put yourself on camera if you don't want to, but that's entirely up to you. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, I know spots on the calendar right now are very limited. I mean, there are a good number of people I talk to regularly at this point, but at the same time, because I'm moving, I have kind of really tightened up my window of availability. So if you only see things out a couple weeks later, feel free to just plug some time in, and, you know, if we can talk, I'm happy to do so. You can also go to finallyfasting.com again. Like I said, if you want to buy merch or this hat, which I'm currently wearing, it's this one right here, and their snapbacks. Well, you see it right here. It's on my head. You can check that out in case you're curious, in case you want to support me in that way. At the same time, like Issa did earlier, if you want to support me in a different way, you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. You get special emojis. I'll throw your name at the beginning of my live streams. If you join the higher tier autophagy group, we have Wednesday night live streams where we have a group coaching session. It's a smaller group, but other people come on camera, talk to each other, share what's going on. So feel free to check that out. You can find that link in the description, or you can click the join button, I think, on my YouTube channel, or there's like a membership tab or a members tab or something like that. That's about it. So, I like all the guesses for calories. I'm glad to see it. I'm really curious how many I'm going to have tomorrow. Yeah. Oh my God. I was just about to, holy Lemon Drop Cake with a $20 super chat. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Lemon Drop Cake, not even a message at all. Please feel free to leave a message if you want. I'll throw it up there. But Lemon Dropcake with a $20 super chat. Lemon Dropcake, thank you so much for the generous donation. That means so much to me, especially putting such a huge donation like that. I know you're already one of the Finally Fasting members, so I know your name because I go through the roster count every time I have to update my intro. There, Lemon Dropcake says, you're such an inspiration, Jerome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Praying for you and your move. I appreciate that as well. Thank you for your time and constant positivity. I try, and that's the thing is it's hard to be positive 100% of the time. But what I really like about having these live streams and just having this channel is the fact that even on my bad days, I feel like I can vent and I can talk about it. And I'm telling you all, if you find, you might not think that it's helpful, but even if you're able to just have a conversation and talk about hard moments and struggles, it might be an opportunity for you to really figure out how to get outside of the all or nothing thinking or struggling with a certain way to eat. Lemon Dropcake also says, very selfless of you to be here with all of us, even when you're facing this huge task of relocating. I mean, it really means so much to me, Lemon Dropcake, for the donation and the kind words. But I want you to know too, I do this for me as well. It's helpful for me. It really keeps me in check. I like to do this because I want people who are in here right now to understand that, like, I do this because I rely on you as well. I rely on all of you. You're my accountability partners. You might not think that. You might think that I'm just this guy who's like sharing all this info, and I am, and I try to be motivating and inspiring, but I also do it because it's you all that help me stay accountable. So the love goes back ways, or the love goes both ways, just an FYI. Okay, I have 10 minutes here because I have to jump on I just got my notification that I have a coaching session in 10 minutes. There was a question up here earlier. Beauty and Heart says, I'm late to the chat. Why is Jerome moving to the Philippines? I would love to reconnect with the few family members I have left in the Philippines. Most of my family is here in the States now, but I do have family in the Philippines that I have been wanting to reconnect with. When I went to the Philippines in February, it was really nice to see them after 30 plus years. And it reminded me of how much life is different in other parts of the world. When I went to Japan, it reminded me that, like, man, it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy traveling, and I just thought it would be a new adventure. So that's why I'm currently selling everything I own at the moment to do something like that. And here's the thing. I know people have asked this too. I'm not moving there forever. Let's get that straight. I'm not moving there forever, but I do want to experience something different. I do have an idea of when I'll be back here, but even if I do come back here, I think traveling will always be a thing for me from now on. So, thanks for the question though. Guerra Chavez says, what happens if there's more than one of us that wins? Who gets closest to the calorie count? It's okay. If there's more than one, then that's fine. I'll give an extra sticker, or we'll have a coaching session. I mean, whatever you want to pick. So yeah. Cheryl says, no, don't say you're going to eat healthy. Everyone put in their bid. Here's the thing, Cheryl, who knows what tomorrow is going to be like for me? I don't know, but okay, I'll say this. Tomorrow, I know what foods are going to be available, at least from the start. I can almost say with certainty that I will be eating the entire day. So with that being said, I'm sure the calorie count will probably be in the high mark. I'm just saying that, like, maybe there's a part of me that's changed in that way, but I don't know. We'll see. Issa says, so you'll probably live stream tomorrow in the morning. I will. And it's probably going to be early in the morning. I would say maybe around 8 a.m. Central, or even earlier than that. I wake up lately at around 5:30 in the morning now, and I do my cardio, but tomorrow is going to be a 20% day for me. I don't even think I'm going to be walking tomorrow morning. So I might live stream super. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know just yet. So, you guys have such great comments here. So thank you for being so kind to each other. Debbie says, so my TDEE is only 1,400 calories. If I eat 2,800 calories per day, then alternate daily fasting would be a solution. It would, Debbie. It would. Think about it in that way. If your TDEE is 1,400 calories, the maths, right? And I would say you can give yourself a better opportunity to test it out by just doing it, right? Here's something that you should think about too, Debbie. If your TDEE right now is 1,400 calories, this is the thing that a lot of people sometimes don't understand. If you want to raise your TDEE, one, you can exercise more, right? Obviously, exercising more, being more active means that you will raise your TDEE. But think about it like this too. Exercising isn't the only thing that matters. Sometimes people think that, okay, I got to do my 1 hour of exercise. But really, exercise also just means the activity throughout the day. When I go take the train, I don't get on the escalator. I walk up the stairs. Sometimes when I'm on this couch watching TV for an hour, sometimes I get up or I lay on sometimes I get up and I just start doing stretching exercises. Sometimes I lay on the rug here and I'll do core exercises, right? Sometimes I'm busy cleaning, right? I make that an activity. This is also why I talk about when I cook food, when I prepare food, I don't do delivery. I don't just go pick something up. I go get the groceries. I will go prepare the food. When I make that pudding, I'm mixing it in the bowl, right? I'm burning calories as I'm doing it. But here's the thing too, adding muscle. Remember, everyone who's watching this, adding muscle will raise your TDEE. Adding muscle will raise your TDEE because the more muscle mass you put on you, the more muscle you put on you, the more your body burns calories. The more muscle you add, your body will just naturally burn more calories, which gives you the opportunity to eat more calories. Hopefully this makes sense for people who are watching this. This is something that I will probably start to hammer down more. One of the reasons I eat a lot of protein during my refeeds as well is because of the thermic effect, meaning that if you think about protein, carbs, and fats, the more protein you eat, the body has to digest that food. Which macronutrient burns more calories digesting? It's protein. You have to hack the system and try to figure out what you need to do. So Debbie, I hope that's helpful in that way. That's a really good question though. And it's really helpful that you asked that, because then I can at least explain that. And maybe if you've never heard of this before or understood that part, maybe it makes a little more sense today. Babita asks, Jerome, I'm very curious. How did you find out about fasting yourself back then? Do you remember what finally triggered you to do your first fast? Yes. I actually started fasting, and I have a video that I put on years ago, and I learned it from Snake Diet. That's how I learned to fast. When I fasted though, and I did my first fast, I did an 11-day fast out of the blue, cold turkey, and it was awful. I did not supplement with electrolytes. I had no concept of working my fasting muscle, but I did it, and then I gained all the weight back after. Why did I do an 11-day fast? When I found out that you could fast and not die, I was like, okay, let me see how long I could go. And so I did an 11-day fast, and that's kind of what got me to it. So that's kind of what triggered it for me. So hopefully that clears things up. There's probably a little more to it, but it's 3:12 right now. And at this point, I need to kind of sign off here. I got to jump on my call. Debbie asks, is your mom moving also? No. So my mom will be here in the States, which means that's also why I will still be here in the States. It doesn't mean I'm moving forever. Again, just to, kind of clear that up. Okay, everyone, that's it for me. I got to jump on a coaching session. Thank you all for being here today. Lemon Drop Cake, I want to thank you so much for the huge donation today. Thank you for the support. It means a lot to me. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being kind to each other in chat. Thank you for supporting each other. Tomorrow is my 20% day. Tomorrow I get to eat whatever I want. But before I do that, I will be live streaming. So if any of you are up early on a Saturday morning and you happen to be on YouTube, feel free to drop by. If I end up talking to myself because everyone's still sleeping, that's okay. I got to show up. I got to be transparent and accountable. So we'll do this again tomorrow. If I don't catch you tomorrow morning, maybe you'll catch the replay. And if you don't, then I'll see you on Sunday where you'll see everything I ate. We'll see who got closest to the calorie count. And then that's it. So with that being said, that's all I got. I am trying to set up the outro here. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Take care.